It's been a little over 3 weeks of online classes and social distancing for me, and I am bringing a whole new level to the term stir crazy. Let me tell you about the 5 things that make me feel at least a little bit less crazy. Hello, my name is Sarah. I am the assistant editor of the University of Arkansas's yearbook, The Razorback. Today's video, though, is really gonna step away from my job and look at just me and who I am as a bored, social distancing college student. This semester, I've been enrolled in 18 hours, and before social distancing was a thing, I worked about 15 hours a week. So I never ever had time for cooking, which is something that I really enjoy doing. One of the main reasons I really enjoy it is it's something that I can share with my mom. My mom likes to describe herself as a Southern mom, and the woman can cook really good though. But it's been really nice over the past few weeks to be able to share recipes with her and hear my boyfriend lovingly tell me that my food is not as good as hers. But it's nice to have something to have with her. But even past that, it's really nice to do something where you can put effort into it and it's beneficial for you and maybe even people that you might be quarantining with too. It's always great to see the look on the faces of the people I live with when I make banana bread, even though it's not as good as my mom's, apparently. But it's still really nice, and it can also save a lot of money if you do it well and put time and thought into what you're gonna make. Like, for instance, the chicken and dumplings that you've been watching me make. When I made those, we had everything for it except carrots and celery, so it worked out really good. It was a good meal, and no one has told me that it's not as good as my mom's, so I'm gonna take that one as a win. The second thing on my list is a real love-hate relationship, especially when we're spending this much time together, and it's Bubba. Bubba is the sweetest husky German Shepherd mutt mix that you will ever meet. He has so much energy and he's something else. He hasn't always called our backyard home though. He moved over here in about October, and before that he lived with a couple of other dogs at my boyfriend's parents' automatic shop. And when he first got here, he really missed the dogs, but now all he cares about is getting a snack. He really likes chicken and cheese. So getting a snack, getting his stomach rubbed, and sitting in my lap. That's pretty much it. He also really cares about barking in the middle of the night for no reason. But he's super sweet, and I love spending time with him. He is an outside boy though, which is kind of upsetting since we can't just hang out all the time. But he's absolutely terrified of inside. However, he did come inside for a second today. But he's so sweet, and spending time with him really just mellows me out, even when he is being his over-the-top chaotic self, because he's just so happy. And one of the things that I've been really trying to do during this time is try to stay positive about what's going on. And for me, it's been really hard to stay upbeat when everything's changing, and nothing seems to be changing for the better in a global view, and at least in my personal life as well. But spending time with Bubba just kind of gives me a new aspect. Makes me wish I had a little bit more Bubba in me, because he's always so happy no matter what's going on. And most importantly, he loves car rides, which I love enough to put on this list. I grew up in a super small town where there was nothing to do but drive around. Like, literally, you would have to drive 40 minutes to get to the nearest movie theater, bowling alley, anything, even a store that wasn't a Dollar General or a Walmart. That wasn't even a super center. So all I did during high school was kill time and drive around. These days, I try not to drive around just for the sake of driving around, but right now it's a little bit different. About once a week or so, maybe a little bit more, we've been going on car rides, and We try to put Bubba in there most of the time because it makes him so happy. But it's really nice to just get out, drive around. I will say at times it is slightly, not necessarily upsetting, but not exactly joyful to see all the businesses closed and things like that. But it is nice to not feel like I am constantly stuck in this house. And we're not gonna infect anyone. No one's gonna infect us, and Bubba has a good time. So it's a really nice something for the three of us to get out and do that we all enjoy doing, and we can enjoy doing it together. So, in case you haven't noticed it yet, I have a lot to say all of the time. So talking has been something that I've really leaned on during this time. I am blessed enough to not have been left completely alone during this. However, I'm not as lucky as some because I do live with a 22-year-old boy and a 19-year-old boy. So, could be better, could be worse. But I tease them a lot. They eat the sweets I make, so it's a fair trade-off. Past them, I do spend a lot of time talking to my sister, my dad, and my mom, though. Before all this happened, I did talk to them quite a bit, especially my sister. But with everything that's going on, talking to them means a lot more now. They all live in Central Arkansas, and I had frankly been pushing off going home to see them in the beginning of the semester just because I had so much going on, and now it's not really realistic for a lot of reasons to go down there and come back. Yeah, we all get the gist. But it is really nice to be able to talk to them and talk through what's going on in their lives too, especially my sister, who's been stuck with my 7-year-old nephew 24/7 for quite some time now. So my heart goes out to her more than my parents. But it is nice, and it's also nice to be able to just talk through what all is going on. And it's really a necessity when we're seeing this level of change in our lives. I don't know if you're like me and you absolutely hate change, but I am not a fan of it by any means, and it usually doesn't go over that well with me. So all of this drastic changes at once are just really a bunch of small things that I would need to be able to talk through anyways. So I couldn't imagine having to be alone, not talking to anyone during this time. I saved the best for last, which is really ironic because the last thing on my list is honestly the thing that I've done the least during this pandemic and social distancing. But I've been working. As I said before, I'm the assistant editor of the Razorback right now, and right after social distancing protocols went to place in Arkansas, I found out that I'm going to be the editor-in-chief for next year's book. And so that's really just given me a lot of things to be able to do that I'm also super excited to get to do. I mean, I'll be honest, some of it isn't that great, like making applications isn't the funnest thing ever, or budget meetings, especially just budget meetings, terrible. But it is nice to be able to think, I'm getting to make something that I'm super excited to make, and I've been able to work on some of the fun stuff too, like designing and talking to other students who are super excited and really want to be able to work with me to make this book, which it's always nice to share passions with other people. But more importantly for me, it's been really nice to have something to do that I feel productive while I'm doing it and that I'm excited to do, because honestly, school just hasn't felt that exciting when it's all online. It's really just felt stressful and chaotic for me, and all new deadlines everywhere. So having something that I can move away from and take a break from school with that is still productive and beneficial to me and everyone else is super great. And it's really good. I know most people wouldn't say that they're excited to work, but for me, it just works out really great and I love it. Oh, I know my top 5 things probably aren't the most exciting to everyone else, especially work, but please let me know what y'all are doing during this time. I'm sure within even a week or two more, the top things on my list and the other things that I've been doing to fill my time that didn't make it quite into the top 5 are going to start losing their shine pretty soon. And even if mine aren't the most interesting, what's really important during this time is to find things that are productive and positive and just make you happy, because really it seems like there's not a lot of that right now, and it's really just finding your own balance. So it's good to talk to other people, see what they're doing, take some of that, borrow stuff here and there, and just find what really works for you. So if you're looking for things to stock up to watch for the next few weeks, make sure to subscribe to my channel and go ahead and check out my blog too while you're doing that. Stay safe, everyone, and have the best time you can, putting some distance into your social link.